Hi everybody, so this is Morgan and Jean-Charles, and today we're going to show you how to make a brioche with a normal bread machine like this one that we have. It's basically a Panasonic, but pretty much everybody has a regular bread machine like that with the container here. So we're going to start by putting, let's go look at our recipe, and Morgan is going to put a teaspoon of yeast. We use that, let me show you while Morgan is doing it. We use that yeast for bread machine, Red Star. We like to use the blue one because it works great for us. And you can, when you take a teaspoon, it can be a little overflowed. No, that was okay. You can overflow it a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, you can overflow it a little bit like this. And that is the first thing that you put in the bread machine over there. Now, this is a very important step because later on we're going to put salt with it, and the yeast does not like salt. So you have to put the yeast as far from the salt as possible. So we put the yeast first so we can then cover it with the flour. So now we're going to go back here and we're going to put, let's see, we have to put 300 grams of flour, of white bleach flour. So we have our measuring cup here, which happens to have grams on it, but at the bottom of the video I will do a little conversion for you to see how much it does if you do not have a metric measuring cup. 300. Yes, 300. And you can see on this side that we have 300, 350, so we're going to need to put 300. You can probably pour it in there, Morgan, because it's a lot.
All right.
Okay, and when we say 300, it has to be 300 that is actually, I don't know what the proper term is in English for this, but you can see here how we're close to 300. But what you want to do is actually you want it to be packed flour. You see how I'm doing that, and it's actually going down, and we're going to need to put a little bit more because we want 300 grams of packed flour. Okay, so we're still a little bit below, so we want to put more flour in it.
And just to let you know, when you do this, you probably already know this, but it is kind of tricky to do, so make sure...
That should be okay, don't put too much.
Alright, but make sure that you have it on a surface that you can clean the flour off of easily, because you can see there already.
Okay, so how much do we have?
We have
300. Yeah, just a little bit below. Just put a little more spoon in it, and that's okay. Oh, that's a big spoon. Yeah. There you go. So we should have 300. So now we're gonna go put that. Let's go put that into the bread machine. And you can see that we're covering all of the yeast with it. And that's okay, it makes a little clump, but that's why we have a bread machine. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to then need for the recipe is going to be 80 milliliter of milk. So we take our milk, we use 1%. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, 130 milliliter. So you can see here that we have our milliliter. But I'll try to again make some conversion in the recipe for people to show them what it does. So let's go and let's put 130 milliliter. Yep. And yeah, that's about right. I think that's perfect. Okay, so we go put that in. We want less milk than more. It's better to be at 125 than it is to be at 150. And you can see that it creates this liquid in it with the flour. Okay, so now we're gonna put 30 grams of sugar. Now 30 grams of sugar I know is a 1 full tablespoon. So we have the tablespoon over there. And so we're going to fill it up all the way for this one, the tablespoon. And yep, that's good. It's good if it's a little bit overfilled, and we put it in. Okay. Now let's see, what else do we need? We're gonna need 50 grams of butter. So we use unsalted butter from the fridge that Morgan's gonna take. And you see one of those bars? It's basically half a bar. So you take a knife and you cut it in half. Now, again, you want to use unsalted butter, because if you use salted butter, it will actually react with the yeast and the brioche will not rise. Now, don't cut the counter. Okay, up, then you open it and you put it in there. Yep, boonk, like that. Would you give me the knife while you're at it, just so I can break up this big clump of flour? There you go, just looks better for the video. Okay, so now we're gonna need an egg. So we come back here and we're just gonna grab one of our egg. A grade, regular white egg. Don't take the jumbo, just a regular one. And Morgan's gonna take one and he's gonna go crack it inside the bread machine. Oh, go ahead, you crack it and you open it and you put it all in there. Hup. We try not to add any shells because we don't like crunchy. There you go. And now we're gonna add the final ingredient, which is salt. So we're gonna close that. And let's see, where's our salt? Right there, regular kitchen salt. And we're gonna put half of a teaspoon. You see here we have a measuring, and you see that inside there's a little mark for half of it. And in this one we want to put, we don't want to put more than half. So if you have more than that, then you can put it a little bit in, yeah, just put it in the sink, because it's hard to get. Okay, the salt, it's easier to not put too much, you know, right away. So okay, we got salt, and we're gonna put it in the milk and the egg. You see how it does a little clump over there? So that's where we're gonna put it. And you'll notice that it's as far as possible from the yeast as possible. Now there are some systems, like in our bread machine, there's this little door here where you can put the yeast and all. It doesn't work that great. So what we do for our brioche is we just put the yeast at the bottom. So you can see how we have all of the ingredients here. So we're just going to close the cover. And then we're going to go here and Our bread machine is not plugged, so we're gonna first make sure it's plugged. Now, here's the cable, and we're gonna follow the cable around, and Morgan's gonna make sure that it's plugged. Or maybe the whole thing just needs to be pushed in, Morgan. There you go, it turned on. And so we're gonna click select just to put it on bake. Let me show you on top a little bit. It's just basic bake, 4 hours. Now if you want to do it for the morning, you can put a timer and then schedule it so it's ready for breakfast. It's very good for breakfast. But we're just gonna start ours right now, and we're just gonna click start, and then you let it do. And we'll see you back in 4 hours and show you what the brioche looks like. Thanks. Okay, so we are now 4 hours later, and the brioche is done. So let's open it, and let's see what it looks like. Ooh, that looks good. So Morgan's gonna take it out, and he's gonna...
Ah, it's hot.
It's hot? You gotta turn it.
I'm gonna grab one of the oven mitts that we have placed conveniently right there.
You gotta turn it.
To the right or the left?
Is it stuck?
Yeah. Huh. Unpause.
Alright, so we're taking the brioche out. There. Flip it over. There, tap it a little bit. There, and then see if it comes up. Just lift it.
Parts of it.
There you go. And that smells good. Morgan's going to show us how it's cutting a slice and what it looks like from the inside.
Okay, so you take your bread cutting knife. It's nice and warm. I'll cut off one end here to show you. Just a bit. A big bit. All the way down, and it's really soft inside. These are yummy. Yeah.
Alright, enjoy. Look at the recipe below.